Hi there, everybody. It's Ellen Weatherford.
And Christian Weatherford.
And this is Just the Zoo of Us, your favorite animal review podcast, where we rate your favorite animals out of 10 in the categories of effectiveness, ingenuity, and aesthetics.
We are not zoological experts, but we try our best to bring the most accurate and interesting information we can.
And it's the most wonderful time of the year. It's the holiday season.
The food one.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Which you've gone on record as saying your favorite.
True.
Is Thanksgiving your favorite holiday, you think?
It's top two. The actual two could flip-flop depending on time of year.
True.
Which one is stressing me out currently?
Well, right now, Thanksgiving is the one stressing you out currently. There's no Christmas creep for us. We are holding firm. The Thanksgiving bastion is holding steady and holding back the tide of the Christmas season encroaching on all other seasons. In our house, we distinctly celebrate Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, each taking proper turns. Each one has a full month dedicated to it. And since this is November and we're getting very excited for all of the food and family togetherness of Thanksgiving, we have already done an episode on wild turkeys. So I could not do that one again. Okay. But instead, I'm turning to the turkey vulture.
Very good.
I'm so excited to talk about these. You're familiar with these, as pretty much everybody who lives in North America is at least somewhat familiar with turkey vultures.
I feel like I noticed them less here, though.
We have noticed them a little bit less. I think I'll talk a little bit more about why we might be seeing them flying around less in the Pacific Northwest.
Maybe.
First up, the scientific name, and just straight out the gate, wow, this is a great scientific name. Are you ready for this? Cathartes aura.
Wow.
It was aura. A-U-R-A, aura.
Huh.
You could feel the aura. 5 episodes away, you could feel it. They're aura farming for real. When they do that thing where they hold their wings out to warm up in the sun, that's straight up aura farming right there. Turkey vultures were requested by listeners Jude Collar and Prudence Morrill. Thank you. And I thought it would be pertinent to do them now as the co-hosted episode closest to Thanksgiving, because it does have turkey in the name.
Okay, that counts.
Yeah, getting that sweet, sweet SEO.
No cranberry bog frog?
No cranberry bog frog. Or I could do the cranberry bog spiders.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe after Thanksgiving, I could do the cranberry bog spiders. I'm getting most of my information from the Cornell Lab of Ornithology's website, allaboutbirds.org, as well as the National Park Service, nps.gov, along with papers I'll cite as they come up. I found some pretty surprising stuff in some pretty cool papers that I'm excited to share. If perhaps you don't live in North and Central America and haven't seen turkey vultures, they're a pretty large bird. They're about 30 inches long, or 80 centimeters, with a wingspan of about 5.5 feet, or 170 centimeters. So they're among the larger birds you will see around here. They're not the biggest, but they're pretty big. And you'll usually see, if you see like a large bird soaring in the skies, it's like 9 out of 10 times it's a turkey vulture here.
I feel like that is not the case here, though.
It was in Florida, but yeah, You're right. I don't think it is the case. I feel like here it's even like more likely to be a bald eagle than it is to be a turkey vulture.
I'm pretty sure I've seen more bald eagles than I have turkey vultures here.
No, I see them a lot. I think I do see them a lot, but maybe I'm looking like up more than you. You're a little more like focused on the road, I think, when we're out and about.
When we're driving? Yeah.
You're not looking at birds while you're driving?
No.
Rookie. Amateur hour over here. Christian's not bird watching while driving. Boo.
Maybe just because it's cloudy. Cloudy, can't see birds.
Yeah, can't see the birds. Actually, the cloudiness does have to do with it. I'll get to it in a minute.
Okay.
So turkey vultures are covered in dark feathers. They're mostly kind of black to very, very dark brown, with the exception of their head, which is bald and bright red. So this is how you can tell them apart from the black vulture, which is another common vulture in North America, which has black skin on its head. They look like a smaller version of like the California condor, which also has the bald head, but theirs is like a pink. The turkey vultures is like bright red. They're much smaller and noticeably very different from the California condor. They look like kind of like the lower stage Pokemon evolution of the California condor. They look like the turkey vulture is like the base form that evolves into the California condor. They are in the taxonomic family of Cathartidae, which are the New World vultures. So also in this group are the California and Andean condors, which we've had episodes on both of those. They're fascinating creatures. Now, we've talked about this before in the past on the show, but there are two groups of vultures.
Right.
Do you remember what they are?
Was it the Old World and New World?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the New World vultures are the ones found in our hemisphere, the Western Hemisphere, as opposed to the Old World vultures found in the Eastern Hemisphere. And it would be very logical to conclude that the two groups are related to each other. Right? It would be. I wouldn't fault anyone for thinking that.
Sure.
Because they look very similar. You know, you put them side by side. They both have the sort of bald heads. They both have that sort of hunched sort of, you know, it's giving vulture.
Yeah.
Like they have that look. They both are scavengers. They have similar behaviors. They seem at the surface very, very similar, but they're actually not related to each other. So Old World vultures are actually more closely related to things like hawks and ospreys and even secretary birds than they are to the New World vultures. So this is an example of convergent evolution.
Right.
So both of these groups, despite not being related to each other, both evolved to be scavengers and evolved similar physical traits because those traits help them with scavenging. So they end up with similar results even though they took a different path to get there. If this is anyone's first time listening to this podcast, our whole deal is that we rate animals out of 10. The first category is effectiveness. Physical traits, things built into the animal's body that let it do a good job of the things it's trying to do. And I'm giving my friend, the turkey vulture, a 10 out of 10 for effectiveness.
Wow.
It has some very interesting things going on under the hood. And I'm going to start with something that really sets them apart, not just from other vultures, but from other birds. They have a particularly strong sense of smell. So the vast majority of other birds barely have a sense of smell. It's like an afterthought. Like they really more rely on vision for navigation. But turkey vultures have a particularly large, what's called olfactory bulbs. Do you know what this is?
So it's the organ that lets them sense smell that's kind of up in their facial area, kind of?
It's actually part of their brain.
Oh, okay.
But it is the part of brain that processes smell. And theirs is huge.
Ah.
They're rivaled only by, there's a type of seabird called a fulmar that has like a similarly sized olfactory bulb. But the point is, they have way, way, way stronger sense of smell than like the vast majority of other types of birds. And I got that information from a paper called Anatomical Evidence for Scent-Guided Foraging in the Turkey Vulture. It was by Nathan P. Grigg et al. In the Scientific Reports in December of 2017. Another interesting thing about like the beak itself that lets them be really good at smelling is that the nostrils, so like in a beak, the holes that basically open to the air for the nostrils, they're called nares, like Nares. And theirs open to the air with no septum wall in between.
Oh.
So if you look at a turkey vulture from the side, you can see straight through their beak. Have you ever seen a bird like this? Like, have you ever seen a bird where you can like see straight through the beak to the other side?
I feel like I have. I just can't think of what specifically.
Sandhill cranes, you can see through their beak too.
Huh.
And I thought this was more common, but it's really not. But because of like those nostrils just being kind of like open directly to the air like that, and with that hole in it so that the air can like pass through the middle, it lets them take in a lot more like particles from the air. So it makes them really, really good at smelling. Really sensitive smell. I also think that like hole in the beak really contributes to the skeletal like aesthetic.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It makes it look a lot more like a bear skull, right? Not like the skull of a bear, but like a featherless, you know, unadorned skull.
Yeah, because like lots of parts of the skulls that once all the other stuff is gone, you can kind of see through it in some places because of holes and such.
Yeah, it's like if you've ever seen like a dinosaur skull in a museum, there will be like big sort of pockets and cavities where you can see through it. It's that, but the animal is like alive,
right?
Which is very interesting to me. Now, black vultures do not have that strong sense of smell. So black vultures will actually follow turkey vultures.
Oh.
So they'll see turkey vultures flying around and they will go follow them and even circle like around or above them. And they wait for the turkey vulture to find food with their nose. And then once they see the turkey vulture land, then the black vultures will land and chase the turkey vultures away and get the food. And then the turkey vultures have to come back for the leftovers of what they found. Isn't that wild?
That's so sad.
And do you want to know where I learned that?
Where?
On a Wingspan card yesterday. I did look it up. I did verify it. I did make sure that this is not like a thing that was just on the Wingspan card. I saw it elsewhere, but I think I played a turkey vulture on my board yesterday.
Yeah, I think so.
And I saw that little anecdote on the card, and I was like, "Oh, that's interesting. I'm going to put that in my notes." So shout out to Wingspan for being my research assistant. Now, there's a funny story I just came across actually about how it was discovered that turkey vultures can smell at all. In the 1950s, an oil pipeline worker was talking to ornithologist Kenneth Stager about how the oil workers would find gas leaks in their pipelines by vultures congregating around the spot where there was a gas leak. So the pipeline, they would see a bunch of vultures landing and like congregating near a spot on the pipeline.
Yeah.
And then go over there and sure enough, there was a gas leak. So the vulture seemed attracted to the gas leaks on the oil pipeline. Can you think about why?
Yes, actually.
Okay, gimme.
So
let me hear it.
Residential natural gas.
Yes.
They add an odor to it.
They do. Do you know what the odor is?
It's supposed to smell like rotten eggs.
Yeah, it does.
And that is for safety because you would otherwise not notice a gas leak in your house.
Yeah, because natural gas is just odorless on its own, and that is really dangerous.
Yes. It could suffocate you or explode.
Yes, exactly. So the chemical that's added to the natural gas is called ethyl mercaptan.
Oh.
And it is a smell that's supposed to make the gas smell noticeable and not very good. And that also happens to be the exact same chemical that is responsible for the odor of carcass decaying, like carrion. Which anyone who's ever smelled it knows, it kind of does smell a little bit like dead stuff, you know? So the vultures would be flying through the air and they could smell this gas leak from this oil pipeline and they think it's a dead thing they can come eat. So they come and land and then they're just looking around like, all right, where is it? Like... So it was the same compound. It's just like that particular smell they're already like sensitive to. But because that's the smell that they add to the natural gas, it also drew in the vultures. Isn't that interesting?
It is. I was not sure at what stage they would add that smell component to. Like, would it be more closer to like where the like residential houses are getting it, or is it higher up the line, like in the source and stuff?
Yeah, I think it's at this point because these were like pipeline workers and it was already added at that point. I guess it makes sense, right? Like you'd want to know at any point if there's a gas leak.
Honestly, I have no idea about the process of natural gas before it enters the house.
This is the extent of my knowledge, okay? This story right here is as much as I know.
Yeah.
I just thought that was an interesting story that like because of this process that we use to make natural gas like more detectable to us, also alerted us to the fact that turkey vultures can smell.
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Go ahead.
Did something like this too.
Really? Well, I don't remember it.
Well, on that one episode where the gang finds an airbending temple, and that's where the tech guy is now living with his people, with his like kid and people that are flying around in gliders and things.
Yeah.
He was aware of a gas leak but wasn't able to find it. And Sokka came up with the idea of like putting like rotten food in the chamber where they know it's coming from and find out where above it's leaking out.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Well, I mean, the vultures did that part for them.
Yeah.
I guess. They can skip that part. Yeah. So I thought that was an interesting story. Now, I mentioned earlier that both groups of vultures have this sort of bald head, right? This featherless, with the exception of like there are some types of vultures that don't. So like bearded vultures have feathers on their face. But for the most part, vultures have a sort of bald face and a bald head. And this is believed to be an adaptation that serves a couple of purposes. One of them is not getting gunk all over their face as they're plunging their head into viscera.
Yeah.
Because they're spending a lot of time with their head just kind of like bobbing for guts.
Right.
So it's meant to sort of keep all of that gunk and gross, body parts from getting stuck in their feathers. That would be a difficult place to preen, right?
I mean, it's still there, but...
but it's going to fall off a lot more easily
Sure.
than if it was getting caked in feathers and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you can relate to the experience of, imagine eating ribs, right, with a full beard and mustache. For people that have never seen you before, you have a full beard and mustache. So just imagine the experience of just tucking into some ribs.
Yeah, it's often a showering.
Now imagine that you have to eat ribs with no hands.
Would you hold them for me?
I would. It was in our vows.
Better watch your fingers, though.
But another purpose that it serves is as a heat sink. It's the bald skin being exposed to the air is supposed to let heat release from the head a lot more quickly because it's not being trapped by the feathers in the head. They're able to lose heat.
So lacking an insulator.
Yeah. Okay. So another thing that I want to talk about is something that is always talked about when people talk about vultures. And I saw this, I'm going to call it claim, literally everywhere. Like every source that I found, like talking about vultures in any capacity, repeated this, like axiom, I guess. And it is that vultures can safely digest such harsh meals like carrion and decaying meat because of their extremely acidic stomachs. A lot of sources reported pH levels close to 0, comparing them to things like battery acid level stomach juices.
Okay.
I'm going to come back to this in a second, but first, I think we need a quick explainer on pH.
Not for me.
Well, why don't you do it then, since you're so smart?
Specifically not this.
Specifically not this?
Yes.
Why?
I was just thinking, I don't remember if that is the acidic or base part of that scale.
Oh, I thought you were flexing. I thought you were going to be saying, I don't need an explainer because I know everything there is to know.
I was saying not an explanation from me.
Oh. I thought you said not for me.
No.
I thought you were going to be like, I ain't need it.
Quite the opposite.
Well, good. I'm glad I prepared this then. So pH is a measure of how concentrated hydrogen ions. So an ion is like an atom with an electric charge. Basically, it's positive or negative. So pH is how concentrated hydrogen ions are in a solution with water. It's called an aqueous solution, so a solution that has water in it.
Okay.
So pH is basically how dense the hydrogen ions are in this solution. Chemicals that give out a lot of hydrogen ions, they're just readily shedding, they're putting hydrogen ions out there into the solution. Those are acids.
Okay.
So the lower the number, the more acidic the solution is, the more hydrogen ions are being put out there. So battery acid has a pH between 0 and 1.
Okay.
So the lower you are, the more acidic you are. Chemicals that readily accept those hydrogen ions, they just want to soak up all the hydrogen ions. Those are alkaline or bases. So a base has a higher pH number because they suck up the hydrogen ions, which means you can put them together and they cancel each other out, right? So you can add a base to an acid and they'll sort of even each other out. So the higher the pH, the more alkaline a solution is. So drain cleaner is usually used as the example of like a super, super alkaline solution. That has a pH of 14, and that's kind of as high as you can go, with water being smack dab in the middle at neutral 7.
They should have made the scale from like -7 to +7.
I think they should flip them because I feel like being more acidic feels like a higher number to me. I don't know why that is. I just think that being more acidic should be the higher number because it's like you have an acid score of like a high acid score.
And also the other one is called base, like base.
It seems like you should be lower. And this is just purely based on feel. Yeah. This is just how I feel about it. And I know that's not like mathematically how it works out because it's like if you are more acidic, that means you have like a lower concentration of hydrogen ions. I get it. I just feel like it should go the other way.
Yeah. Or throw it all out.
Yeah, redo the whole thing.
Gun and sponge.
On a scale from gun to sponge. Oh, you guys are in a relationship? Which one of you is the gun and which one is the sponge? So that's kind of how pH works. Now, I found a 2017 study that I have no idea how I came across it, but I cannot believe I did not see this like referenced in more places or that there wasn't more of like a response to this because it basically just tossed all of the Vulture sort of stomach acidity claims out the window.
Okay.
So the study points out that the widely accepted like claim that, you know, vultures have these super acidic stomachs is actually entirely based on one single report from 1975 using indicator strips. Have you ever used a pH indicator strip?
For like pools, I think.
Yeah, so I used to have to use them in the pet store to test fish tank water levels.
Oh.
And also, it was of white-backed vultures, which are an old world vulture species from Africa. So they're not related to New World vultures. But this information was always applied widely to like all vultures.
Now, did that pH study predate the concept of the vultures being separated into new and old?
It must have, probably. I don't know. But still, it got widely applied, right? Like you just see this sort of, it's just accepted widely that like, oh, vultures just naturally have this like pH of 0.
Which might have seemed like a more safe assumption if you thought all vultures were related to each other.
I get, yeah, it would be a
still reasonable. A stretch, but
yeah. So the researchers went out with modern pH meters, like actual devices to measure like accurately pH, and they took new measurements of the gastrointestinal pH levels of black vultures, turkey vultures, and yellow-headed vultures in Guyana, which is in South America. They found that those vultures' stomachs and intestines actually were not significantly any more acidic than any other birds. The lowest pH they found was 2, which was higher than a lot of other birds and higher than humans. Like higher than ours. Like ours is like at different parts in our gastrointestinal system, it's more acidic than a turkey vulture, than like the ones they found in turkey vultures.
Okay.
Even like albatrosses and bitterns, which are not scavengers, had lower pH than the turkey vulture's like gastrointestinal system. Theirs was about as acidic as lemon juice or vinegar, a far cry from battery acid.
Right.
So I was just really surprised to see this paper and see like nothing about it. It was really just like, hey guys, maybe this thing that like everyone says about vultures is not actually true. And like there were just crickets about it. Fascinating to me. Which I take to mean like that just more studies need to be done on it, right? Like it's just the sort of thing that's like, hey, we should just do more research on this.
So I think I missed something there. So was you were talking about the paper strip tests, implying that those are not as accurate?
They're not as precise.
Oh, okay.
So like if you've ever used one, they basically like you test the like solution on the paper strip and the paper strip will turn a certain color.
Yeah.
Like it'll turn like more, what is it, more blue, I think, if it's more alkaline.
Something.
And more red. And then you have to like hold the indicator strip up to like a comparison chart.
Yeah.
So like you're not going to get super precise measurements on it. Not to say that like it's going to give you something totally wrong, but just that like the range on it isn't going to be as precise. But yeah, and also it was in 1975 and it was only in one species that was not related to any of these.
Okay.
So yeah, I was just really surprised to find this like evidence that goes completely like against something I saw repeated literally everywhere else I turned. So that was interesting to me. That paper was called Field Measurements of Gastrointestinal pH of New World Vultures in Guyana. That was by Gary R. Graves in the Journal of Raptor Research in December of 2017. Oh. Shout out here to nominative determinism, because Dr. Graves studying vultures.
Oh, sure.
That rules. How do you not study? I mean, so he's actually an ornithologist, so he studies a lot of birds, not just vultures. Yeah. And he's at the Smithsonian. So he's done research on a million birds, not just vultures. But he did come up in a lot of the vulture papers I was reading. So I was like, dang. Of course, you can't have the name Graves and not study like vultures and crows and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like that guy, what's his name? Dr. Frank Fish. I love stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, so anyway, regardless of the acidity of the stomach, vultures do have very hardcore stomachs. Their GI system does act as very strong filters for toxins that would otherwise harm them. So they are super resistant to diseases from bacteria that would absolutely annihilate other species. And they seem to be immune to illnesses like salmonella, botulism, and anthrax. They can chow down on those, no problem. It just passes right through them. They do not suffer from it. So this means that when vultures eat a carcass, they're basically safely removing those pathogens from the ecosystem and like stopping the spread of those diseases, because they're like digesting it and not actually getting the disease from them and not like passing them on.
Oh, so not like bioaccumulating them.
No, it just like the buck stops here, right?
Okay.
So they're actually really, really good for like stopping the spread of diseases. In fact, the genus name Cathartes means purifier. Oh. Which I think is really cool. Or like cleanser. And I think it's cool that like, because of the long-standing, I think, association of vultures as being like bad omens and symbols of like death and decay and nasty, like people just have they have nasty like connotations. I think it's cool that they got like a genus name that's so generous, right? Yeah. So a 2014 study on their microbiome showed that turkey vulture guts are full to the brim of bacteria, particularly Clostridia and Fusobacteria. Now, those two types of bacteria are normally flesh-eating pathogens. Oh. So in other species, they cause severe to fatal food poisoning, and it just tears away at like flesh. Both of these bacteria are extremely harmful pathogens in any other species. But the turkey vultures are just full of them. Huh. And they have no ill effect. Like they're completely unaffected by it. So this kind of suggests that either the vulture is just a passive host for the bacteria, not harmed at all, but not like helped by it either, or the vulture might actually be getting some kind of benefit from the bacteria. Like maybe like the processes, like just the bacteria's normal activity in their body is giving off some sort of byproduct that the turkey vulture is like benefiting from or receiving some sort of nutritional like boost from.
I mean, at least just outcompeting other bacteria.
That was a big part of the paper that they were talking about, the idea that like it could just be that these bacteria just came out on top and outcompeted all the other bacteria in the turkey vulture system. But there also seemed to be some indicators in the vulture's DNA that they had some like specific, antibodies for like specific to cooperating with these types of bacteria. So in the paper, they said that they felt like the more probable explanation is that the turkey vulture is getting some benefit from it, but they didn't have any ideas as to what that is yet. And that paper was called The Microbiome of New World Vultures. That was by Michael Roggenbuck et al. In Nature Communications in May of 2014. So the last thing I want to talk about for effectiveness for them is their wings that are really built very well for soaring, passive soaring. So with albatrosses, we talked about active soaring. So albatrosses have like long, slender wings. We talked about aspect ratios and things like that. The turkey vulture's wings aren't as long and skinny as the albatross's wings, but theirs are more made for passive soaring. They're made to go long distances without needing to flap very often. So what they do is they catch these rising columns of warm air called thermals or thermal draft that are created when the sun warms up the ground. anyone who's played Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, I guess, this happens if a fire is lit on the ground. You can use this to your advantage in a lot of scenarios. Like if you light a fire in the grass, then when the ground heats up, it causes a thermal updraft that you can like catch with your paraglider and ride up into the air. That happens in real life. So when the sun warms up the ground, warm air rises, right? Hot air goes up. And so it creates this draft of air going up, and the vultures glide over that air. Their wings catch it, and it carries them up like a glider. Now, see, here's the problem. On really cloudy days, this goes back to what I talked about earlier about why you might not see them out and about when it's cloudy, which it is like every day here.
Right.
On really cloudy days, the ground might not be getting enough heat from the sun to generate thermal drafts because it relies on heat from the sun, right, to warm the ground enough to create a thermal updraft. So without that thermal, the vultures don't have the lift boost that they need. They can still fly. They can fly without it, but it's so much harder. Like it's a lot harder for them to generate the lift that they would need to get a really, really far distance. And it kind of reaches a point where they're like, is it even worth it? You know what I mean? Like, what am I going to do? Fly all day long, work really, really hard to maybe find some food? Like, what if I do all that and I don't find anything? Right? Like, it could be a wash. Like, it could just be not worth their time at all. So a lot of times when it's really cloudy, they just won't leave.
I bet they're more common in Eastern Washington then.
Oh, yeah, probably, because it doesn't get as cloudy over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. They probably are. I wish I could use too cloudy as an excuse to not, like, work out. Can you imagine?
Well, I imagine the vulture has to make a similar decision. Like, well, I can wait another 5 months. Or
they are migratory. So I imagine for parts of the year where they're not going to get enough sunshine to generate the drafts they need, they just leave and then just go somewhere else.
Yeah, see, that's the problem. We're not like wealthy and have southern houses to snowbird to.
That's true. We don't have winter homes. I just wish I could be like, I could look out the window and be like, I'm not going to the gym today. It is too cloudy. I just can't. Let's take a quick break to hear from our friends on the Maximum Fun Network. When we get back, we'll talk about ingenuity and aesthetics and conservation for turkey vultures.
Hey, I'm J. Keith Van Straten from Go Fact Yourself, and I'm here with Max Fun Member of the Month, Josh Mentor, who has been a Maximum Fun member since 2016. Hello, Josh.
Hey, J. Keith, how you doing today?
I'm so well, and thank you so much for being a listener and supporter of our show. What made you decide to support Max Fun in general and to support our show, Go Fact Yourself?
Jordan Morris on Jordan Jesse Go has a thing that he likes to say, which is, you tip your bartender $1 a beer, you tip your podcaster $1 a month. I get way more use out of Max Fun podcasts than I do like Disney Plus or Netflix.
Well, it's something we very much appreciate. And by the way, when was the last time Netflix selected you as a member of the month?
Exactly.
Josh Mentor, congratulations, and thank you again for being the Max Fun Member of the Month.
Thanks so much, guys.
Become a Max Fun member now at MaximumFun.org/join.
Walking About is the podcast about walking. It's a walkumentary series where I, Alan McLeod, and a fun, friendly guest go for a walkabout. You'll learn about interesting people and places and have the kind of conversations you can only have on foot. We've got guests like Lauren Lapkus.
I figured something out about this map, like how to read it.
Betsy Sidaro.
I had no clue. That's awesome and nuts.
John Gabris.
This is like great first date for like broke 20-somethings,
And more. Check out Walking About with Alan McLeod on Maximum Fun.
So the next category that we rate animals on is ingenuity. These are behaviors, things the animal is doing to navigate their world and solve problems that they face. I'm giving turkey vultures a 6 out of 10.
Modest.
You seemed like you were kind of expecting this.
Well, I was thinking I might have put the thermals thing in here.
There is something about it in here.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's actually the first thing I was going to talk about.
Okay.
It is this sort of iconic, like, if you've ever seen vultures in movies or TV shows, what are they doing?
Soaring.
In what sort of, like, pattern. There's a distinct sort of like
circling.
Yes. Yeah. So in movies and TVs, you'll see them flying in a big old circle around. Usually it is used to communicate to the audience. It is an imagery of like an omen of death. Either like this character is like on death's door, like about to die. So the idea is that the vultures will like circle something that looks like it's about to die, so that once it's dead, they'll like land and eat it. That is not really something that vultures actually do, because if you think back, remember that they are attracted to the smell of decay.
Yeah.
So like you have to smell dead for them to like recognize you as prey. They will not like wait for you to die, because that's a huge waste of their time, right? Like they could just keep going and go find something that's already dead they could eat right now. They have no idea how long they're going to have to wait for you to be like dead enough.
Yeah, one dead guy in the hand is worth two in the bush.
Like there's just easier ways to get a meal. So they're not going to like fly around waiting for you to die.
We all have a vulture circling in some way.
Listen, I got a couple. I feel like that could be an indicator of like, how are you doing today? How many vultures are circling you at any given moment?
I have 0 spoons and 5 vultures.
This is a crazy board game.
Spoons and vultures.
These tokens are wild. So there are a few reasons that they might be circling in the air, because they use it for a couple of different things. One of them is maybe to communicate to other vultures that they found something. Like they found a carcass, they found carrion that's already dead. So they might circle a little bit to let the other turkey vultures in the area know, hey guys, I found something, so they could all land and eat together. Because they're pretty social vultures. They do like to hang out together, and they like to kind of flock together. They especially like to migrate together. So they will kind of let each other know, hey guys, I found something. But another reason is that they're actually riding those thermals. So they'll ride in a big circle to kind of spiral upward, right? Because if they just glide right past, they're not going to get sort of as high as they could on that column. So flying in a circle lets them ride the thermal up higher and higher and higher without moving past it. So look closely when you see them circling, and you might see that they're actually like riding a thermal up into the sky. I have seen some sources call this a kettle of vultures. Specifically, this is interesting because it's a term of venery, and you know how I feel about those, which is bad. But it's a term of venery that like specifically applies to them when they're doing a certain thing.
Interesting.
But, like when they're circling like this, they call that a kettle of vultures, because it's supposed to be like stirring a big kettle in a circular motion, which I'm like, okay, that's evocative. I do like that. That's cool.
Sure.
Like I enjoy the imagery. I have my own thoughts and feelings about terms of venery and their dubious validity, but this is a cool one. I'll let this one slide.
All right.
Okay, here's something. I don't know how you're going to feel about this. So since vultures often eat carcasses of large herbivores, they actually prefer herbivores. They're less likely to go for carcasses of carnivores. I think maybe it's because of the fat content. I think a carnivore is likely to be lean and a little more like tough than an herbivore. But since they're going for large herbivores that often have like thick hides, they will use pre-existing holes in the body as entry point. I'm uncomfortable with how familiar you seem with this already.
They're not the only animals that do this.
Oh, have we talked about one that does this before?
No, not on the podcast.
I'm sure we have.
But
probably.
maybe.
Wait, what are you thinking of?
Do you remember one time when Rob said a possum died in his yard?
Yeah. And then what?
And then his dog got to it and did the same thing.
Yeah. So yeah, the problem with going through like, you got to take an entry point. You got to pick a hole, right? There's a few holes you could pick in the head, but the head is
pointy bones.
It's hard, and there's a big old skull in there, and there's not a lot of things you want to eat in the skull area.
Yeah.
So there is another. You have another option.
Yes.
So they take the rear entrance.
Right.
And that also kind of puts them just like directly in contact with like some of the gnarliest bacteria possible because they're going in through the bacteria factory.
It gets it out of the way right at the get-go.
So researchers do suggest this is probably where they're picking up all that bacteria that just like hangs out in their gut because they're basically just like mainlining food poisoning. They're just like speed running food poisoning. Another thing that they will do is that when turkey vultures feel threatened, have you ever threatened a turkey vulture?
Not knowingly.
Not knowingly.
Big guy though.
Yeah, I mean, you juke him a little bit, like come at him a little.
Walk around with my arms T-posing.
Yeah, they would not like that. So when turkey vultures feel threatened, they may defensively vomit.
That does seem like a threat, considering what's going on in there.
Yeah.
Flesh-eating bacteria.
It's for you. Special delivery.
That's necrotic damage, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. It's a acid spray. Is that a cantrip? I think that's a cantrip.
No, maybe.
Yeah, so they basically just blow chunks of their last meal. And I saw a lot of claims floating around of them being able to blast it up to 10 feet. Like a 10 feet sort of like ranged attack.
Dang.
Like projectile. But here's the thing. I couldn't back that up. Like I couldn't find... Can you imagine if there had been like a scientific paper, if someone had gotten a research grant to measure how far a vulture could like projectile vomit? I would not have been doing that study. So I couldn't trace that, like I couldn't back up that number. And I did find videos posted by a wildlife hospital in San Rafael, California called Wild Care of turkey vultures in their care vomiting when being handled by veterinary staff. Because they had to handle them to like help them heal. And the turkey vultures did not like it and they did puke. And someone was taking video. So I watched a couple videos and it did not look like a ballistically powerful technique. Okay. It did just look like bleh, and it just kind of like plopped down on the ground.
Our cat does that.
Yeah. I think I could do that if you like. If it came down to it to save my life, I think I could. So I was thinking maybe the 10 feet measurement was like straight down. Like if they were just like 10 feet up in the air and they just, blah, and they just fell 10 feet. And they were like
projectile there.
Yeah. I think I could jump 30 feet. Once. I knew you were going to say it. And in this case, if they're doing it because they're threatened and scared and trying to like get out of an interaction, vomiting does also help offload body weight.
It's the anime scene where they take off the training weights. And I'm 10 times faster now.
Gotta go fast. I think Sonic the Hedgehog should do that. I think next time Sonic the Hedgehog is in trouble, like Dr. Robotnik has him in his clutches, and I think Sonic should just...
I feel like that franchise does not need that.
Why is that, Christian?
I think they got enough going on.
They have enough to worry about.
No need to add another thing to that list.
Are you excited about Sonic X Shadow? The ungoogleable title?
It's now illegal.
You've heard of Supersonic. This is like the next level from Supersonic.
To go beyond.
Yeah, he's going beyond. Yeah. What is it? Blue? No, he's already blue. He can't. I was thinking about how the Super Saiyan does like the blue. There's like a blue Saiyan, but.
Well, it starts off numbered, kind of.
No, there's like Saiyan 2, Saiyan 3.
Yeah, and then it gets into the gods.
It's funny that they were like, oh, this is too many numbers. We got to start doing letters.
There's
colors.
No more than 3.
It would be funny if like Sonic starts off blue, he goes supersonic, turns gold, and then pukes and goes back down to blue.
Actually, there's a Dragon Ball Z character who kind of did that.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
He starts cycling through.
Cell. This is way off topic. Absorbed 2 other characters to become Perfect Cell. And then at some point in the show, he gets punched real hard in the tummy and throws up one of them going down a stage.
It would have been, it would have been really great if when he's like, now I'm gonna turn into Perfect Cell, and he goes back to like the way he was before, and then he's like, I was perfect all along.
So what actually happened He throws up the android, turns back into his middle stage.
Okay, cool.
Blows himself up.
Excellent.
Killing Goku with it.
Killing Goku. Wow,
Yes.
That's a bold stance.
That's perhaps the second or third time he dies.
And shan't be the last.
No. And then he regenerates, but regenerates back into his perfect form for some reason.
Excellent. Great.
But now this android character is around, and Cell ultimately does die, like eats it. But that android is still there, and Krillin, the bald regular guy,
Yeah, the normal dude, yeah.
uses a Dragon Ball wish to turn that android into a woman, and then they get married and have a child.
What? If you had given me 100 guesses as to what he was going to do with that wish, that would have not appeared. Is Dragon Ball Z written by infinite monkeys at infinite typewriters?
That would be funny.
Well, thanks for that, Krisha. Thanks for checking in from the Dragon Ball Z correspondent.
You better put that in the episode description.
Checking in with the Dragon Ball Z correspondent? Yeah. The last thing I wanted to include for their ingenuity is that since birds cannot sweat, and turkey vultures are often living in very hot and warm places, they can cool off by peeing on their own legs.
Oh, we've heard this before.
With storks, it is a thing that storks can also do. The evaporation of the urine helps cool their own body, which is basically how sweat works for us, right? Like it's the evaporation of the sweat that cools your body down.
Mm-hmm.
So they're basically just simulating that. It's just that they can't like produce the sweat naturally. They have to like actively produce a liquid to evaporate. It doesn't happen passively.
Look what they have to do to copy a fraction of our power.
They wish they were us. They wish they could sweat. That's why I quit being a vulture. Too many sweats.
That's why I stopped sweating, because there's too many sweats.
A lot of people also say that peeing on their feet helps kill off bacteria. You know, like they're standing in carcasses and viscera and stuff like that. They get a lot of gunk and bacteria and stuff living on their legs and feet. So peeing on their feet is supposed to help as like an antiseptic, basically, like just flush all that off.
What if it's their version of like, oh, dude, you got stoned by a jellyfish?
Well, it does nothing for them, but they keep doing it anyway. It's actually like totally useless. It has no effect, but they just think it does, so they just keep doing it.
There you go.
No, it definitely does help, like with thermoregulation at least. The cleaning their feet off, I don't know about that one. But
I mean, it's at least
something.
A liquid to wash it off.
Yeah. Now, you say that, and yet if one of our kids said, I cleaned off, and they meant that they just like peed on their feet.
If I had to choose between pee and the innards of a dead animal's colon.
That's true. I would pick the pee. I would pick the pee. You got to choose your battles sometimes. So for aesthetics, I'm giving them an 8 out of 10. Mm-hmm. Goth alert. It's so good. The black and red, it's perfect. That's Sith like stuff right there. And also the head is so skeletal looking. Like it just really completes the look. The black cloak of feathers, it's really giving Grim Reaper, which is so cool that also aligns with the fact that they're like kind of a Grim Reaper in the sense that they like hang out around dead things and are like associated with being around dead things. Like, I love when like they look like the thing they do, you know, like you look like you would be like a scavenger that eats dead things.
I think the directionality is the other way. Because they have to be the oldest thing associated to death, right?
Do you think maybe our Grim Reaper imagery was like more informed by the Vulture?
Has to be, right?
I don't know. I don't, because
they have to predate humans.
Well, but the thing is, I think that our like Western Grim Reaper imagery predates our exposure to New World vultures. Like I think we would have had Grim Reaper imagery before we saw a vulture that looked quite like this. We would have seen other vultures back in Europe and, you know, like the Mediterranean and stuff like that, and had exposure to vultures, but like this one specifically looks particularly skeletal.
Okay.
I just think that it's like really cool that it worked out that way. That it both looks like it. You see me like you look like you would.
Yeah.
You look like you would hang out around dead bodies. Weirdo. They do look like they have a comically tiny head, thanks to the puffy feathers, right? Like big puffy feathers, and then they stop right at the head, and it makes the head look like a tiny little jelly bean.
Which I'm sure all birds would look that way without their head feathers.
They would. Have you ever seen like a parrot that's like molting or something, and like the head is totally naked?
Yeah, it's uncomfortable.
It does not look great. It's like when you get a cat wet. Turns out most fluffy animals, when stripped of their powers, look pretty darn funny. They don't have a syrinx, which is the bird version of a larynx, which is our vocal cords.
Okay.
So they don't have one at all. So the only sounds they can make are like guttural sort of like grunting and like hissing sounds. Oh. They can't make like a hawk's sort of screeching sound or something.
No screaming.
No screaming. They scream inside their heart. Please scream inside your heart. They can be identified by bird watchers by the way that they hold their wings in a V shape, and they have these really distinct like teetering soaring patterns. So when they're soaring, they will do this sort of teetering motion. This is usually where we wrap up by talking about conservation and action items for the animal. They are of least concern. And actually, I think their numbers are rising. Like, I think over the last like 20, 30 years, they have had slow, but actual like population growth. It's about like 1%, so it's not that much, but it's something. Sure. But that is a huge comeback from like throughout like earlier in the 20th century. They were heavily hunted because a lot of people thought that they were like disease vectors or thought that they were predators. Like a lot of people thought that they would actually kill livestock, which they don't do, or thought that they would spread disease to their livestock. So people would like preemptively hunt them because they just did not understand like that actually these vultures are really good for your ecosystem and they will actually protect your livestock from disease if you let them do what they're trying to do. So they've actually made a huge comeback, which is really cool. But as with other species of vultures, harm that is intended for other animals, things like poison bait or lead shot, things like that, can actually inadvertently accumulate in the vulture, right? So like if you leave out poisoned bait for like coyotes or something, then maybe the coyotes eat the poison and then the coyotes die and maybe the vulture comes along and eats the coyote. Now the vulture's got the poison in it and that accumulates because they're, or poison for rats.
Yeah.
Rats eat the poison, coyotes eat the rats. Now you've got a sort of like trophic, the poison is working its way up the food web, and then it all kind of ends up in the vulture. So the vultures can accumulate those problems. Now, if you have problems with nuisance vultures, which is not usually a problem, it's more likely to be a problem with black vultures. They tend to be a little bit more bold. And black vultures are usually the ones that will like mess up houses. They'll like pull, like sealant off of things. They like pull off like rubber and like weather stripping and stuff. They like to do stuff like that. So black vultures are a little more likely to be a problem. But if you have nuisance vultures, I found a document from the USDA's Wildlife Damage Management Technical Series. So this is like a technical document. It was issued in October of 2016. It's just titled Vultures. And they give some recommendations for management techniques of nuisance vultures. And these are some highlights. One of them is spikes and rollers. So like if they have certain places where they like to perch, you can install spikes or you can install rollers, which is basically just like a loose pipe fitting like on the place where they usually perch. So then when they try to perch, it just rolls off, which can be very funny. Like just imagine a Looney Tunes sort of like they're spinning out, right? Like that's kind of, and it doesn't hurt them. It's just embarrassing. They also recommend effigies.
To whom?
To the vultures. So a taxidermied or fake vulture hung upside down by its feet to simulate a dead vulture, like the body of a dead vulture.
Yikes.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, are you kidding? Then I have to look at that. That's disturbing to me. I don't want that. They actually even say, this is a quote from the document, generally vultures that encounter a hanging carcass or taxidermic effigy vacate their roost within 5 days and do not return as long as the stimulus is in place. In some cases, vultures do not return even when the carcass or effigy is removed. So they're so thoroughly spooked and creeped out by your weirdo, creepy behavior. They're like, look at this dude with his Halloween decorations out. What is this? This dude's going spirit Halloween out here.
So one cursed. But also, do you think this makes them think of like a big cat that might be keeping prey up in a tree?
I mean, it just looks like something killed this turkey vulture, right?
Yeah.
They're a social species, right? So like it would be an instinct to, if you see that one has been killed, you'd be like, oh, there's something around here that's killing turkey vultures. I don't want to hang out around here. So you fly away, you don't come back.
But they don't have that concept with other animals.
What do you mean?
Like, oh, something killed this coyote, I'm going to eat it.
Well, yeah, because whatever's killing coyotes is eating coyotes. They're like, that's a coyote problem. That ain't about us. That ain't none of my business. They also recommend, I found this funny, low-powered red lasers. Pew. So you could use lasers for your vulture problem.
Blast them.
USDA recommends lasers. They write, one downside... Oh my gosh, this is funny. One downside is that vultures may habituate to lasers after multiple nights of harassment. Birds will vacate a roost for a given night, but then return the next night. It is not known how long laser harassment needs to continue for permanent abandonment of a roost. Laser harassment.
See, this is how you get a grant that pays for you to go to Burning Man.
They're doing like a Trans-Siberian Orchestra show out. Like, they're having an EDM festival out here. It's the USDA sponsored EDM festival to manage nuisance vultures.
You have like glow in the dark fishnets and glasses. Like, I'm out here studying vultures.
But you still got like the high vis vest on, like the duck waders.
Yeah.
Another one, they also suggest pyrotechnics, quote, fired from a 15 millimeter starter pistol.
Huh.
So consider that.
Okay.
Just consider blast. So anyway, I started blasting.
I mean...
They write, prior to initiating a harassment program in urban areas, consult state, provincial, county, and local ordinances regarding the location of bird sanctuaries, noise ordinances, and the possession and use of firearms and pyrotechnics.
Huh.
So they're like, hey, before you start doing this, please do check to make sure it's legal.
I feel like... You know, rules are written in blood, right?
Right.
I'm so curious now. Like, what is the level of trouble that these vultures are causing that gets people to that point?
Why did you have to try this many things? Is what I'm wondering. You know what? You couldn't do this one in Auburn.
Yeah.
Illegal. If it goes up or blows up, baby.
That's what the sign says.
You ain't doing it here.
2 or so times a year.
And then the final one that I found fascinating, the gall, the audacity they had of including this in the technical document, paintball guns.
Wow.
That's what I said. I was like, y'all really are going to put your stamp of approval on this one? Paintball guns. They say, and I cannot believe they worded it this way in this technical document, the birds are bothered by the sound of projectiles whizzing past, and they do not enjoy being struck by a paintball. Yeah. Yeah, I bet they don't. Who does? Pray tell.
I feel like they're just towing the line. Just shoot them.
Honestly, like there even is a part where they're like, maybe shoot them. They're basically like, listen, if it's a huge problem, maybe shoot one. Because they're like, listen, we got him to spare. Now, actually, you can't. I'm pretty sure they're protected by the Migratory Bird Act, so I think you cannot shoot them.
Now, hold on. Are you telling me the Migratory Bird Act doesn't care if I shoot paintballs at them?
I think the Migratory Bird... I know you can't keep their feathers legally. They are protected by like the Migratory Bird Act. I am pretty sure. I will double check before this goes up, but I'm pretty sure they're protected. they are protected. The document actually does specify a migratory bird depredation permit issued by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is required before vultures can be killed.
I was like, no one tell the goose haters in the South.
But
They're cooked.
It just absolutely blew my mind that in this technical document from the USDA, they were basically like, try lasers and paintballs. I don't know, dude. I was dying reading this. Like, what are you talking about?
I'm going to make fake documents now. Vultures actually hate Mariah Carey's Christmas song before October. So
that's true. Before initiating this harassment campaign, check with your local ordinances. Oh, the laser harassment campaign. It's just, I'm so thrilled to find that. You usually won't, have nuisance vultures. I mean, they're pretty skittish. They'll leave if you yell at them. Oh, they also said balloons. They also said balloons are a thing you can do. You can have balloons.
That's crazy.
Try balloons. It's wild to me that it took so many things. What is this Wile E. Coyote relationship they have with these vultures?
I don't know. I feel like I only ever see vultures when they're actively feeding on something. Where they go when they're off time, no clue.
None of my business, frankly. Not my problem.
Yeah.
I did see a news story. It must have been a real slow news day. It was a news story of someone in Florida who their backyard, they had one of those screened in pool patios, and it got just totally overrun by a flock of black vultures. Apparently they had a problem with one of their neighbors was feeding them, and they couldn't get her to stop, and so the vultures just were but the vultures were actually tearing things up. They were tearing screens.
Yikes.
And pulling off weather stripping, and they were doing damage to the house.
Yeah.
And they also tried a bunch of things to get them to leave, and they couldn't get them to leave permanently. They just keep coming back because this lady kept feeding them.
Yeah.
So that's another action item also. Don't
do
feed,
it.
Don't feed them. They don't need your help, I promise.
When we did the condor episode, I believe you had a story in there too.
Yeah, of this the California condor where the entire population of the species roosted on this lady's house.
Oh yeah. And just covered it in poop.
Yeah. Oh man. It was she definitely had to do sink some serious money into deck repair and power washing the poop off. But because that one was so funny because of how critically endangered the species is.
Yeah.
That had to have been a significant portion of the entire global population of the species.
Right.
Just on her house, actually, we're here to bother you specifically. We're here to ruin your day and nobody else's.
It's another curse.
I guess they just crave chaos. I've never known of a turkey vulture that I would have described as a nuisance.
No.
I've never even heard of someone having a turkey vulture problem.
I mean, maybe we're just lucky because we also don't run into the more typical nuisance animals either.
Yeah.
We've seen raccoons once or twice. But...
Yeah, that's true. We don't. Well, we do live in a very suburban area, though.
Yeah.
We secure our garbage and stuff like that. So we have not had major wildlife conflict like that. And
I kind of want more, to be honest with you.
You're looking for a fight, huh?
No, not a fight. Just a little zest.
A little spice of life in there.
Oh man, some raccoons tipped over my trash can.
Are you looking for beef? Yeah. You want I think that's because you're petty and you crave conflict secretly. You want someone to beef with, and you're not actively beefing with anybody at the moment, so you're really seeking that out.
I need silent war.
That's how I feel in Reddit threads. I need someone to fight with. I don't get enough drama in my day-to-day life. I have a very normal and boring life.
I'm playing the long game on that front.
On what?
I learned on Reddit.
Oh my gosh.
I learned how to use the Remind Me bot.
Oh, that's a significant upgrade from the Google Calendar reminders you had. You had Google Calendar events with links back to Reddit and Facebook threads years in advance.
I did. It's reminder, go back. Remind them.
And you would do it too. You'd come back years later. You'd be like, hey, how's that working out for you?
Oh, it's a memorial page now. Sorry.
stand you. That's what I'm going to tell people when they ask if you're as nice as you seem on the podcast. Like, is Christian really that like sweet and nice? I'm like, well,
it has to come from somewhere.
That's your outlet. It's because we don't play Overwatch anymore. You need an outlet for aggression.
Well, the toxicity.
All right. Well, that's it for us this week. Thank you, Christian, for being nice to me.
Of course.
And listening to me yap about vultures. I had a great time. And thank you, dear listener, for spending this time with us. I hope that you had a good time too. I hope you learned something new. If you liked what you heard, I would love it if you left behind a kind word for us in a review on your podcast app of choice. Like, we got a new one from Clilly J, who said, "Love the podcast. So much great info. Please do an episode on Irish wolfhounds. You guys are awesome. I know you guys did the honeybee episode forever ago. I thought you might want to know that occasionally when you introduce a queen and they don't like them, they crowd her and cook her alive."
I've heard of this technique.
I've heard of this too.
Not specifically for the queen, but that technique.
I've heard of bees doing this for wasps.
Yes.
That like if a wasp is around then they'll vibrate to like heat it up and cook it. I have heard of this. Yeah, that's interesting though. I hadn't heard about the rejection of the queen. I'll have to look into that. But I have heard of bees like cooking things with the power of vibration. That is so cool. Weaponized twerking. I love that. It's great. If you want to hang out with us online, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Discord, Blue Sky. So come hang out with us. I've been posting a lot of short videos on both Instagram, and I've also started posting them on YouTube Shorts. It's usually mostly the same information we talk about on the podcast, but maybe with maybe some extra stuff, or sometimes it's something we haven't talked about on the podcast. So go follow us on those platforms if you haven't already. We'd like to thank Maximum Fun for having us on their network alongside the other fantastic shows that you heard promos for earlier during this episode. If you want to learn more about the network and their shows and how you can be part of supporting our show and get access to our exclusive monthly bonus content, head over to MaximumFun.org. And finally, we would like to thank Louis Zong for our theme music, which the turkey vulture could not be added to unless you wanted to have like a kind of sound in there. Have you heard Finley's impression, our 5-year-old son's impression?
Oh, that Finley? Yeah.
For people who are listening to the podcast or never.
Yes.
For people who don't know us, our 5-year-old son's impression of a zombie in Minecraft on fire. Have you heard his impression of it?
It's really good.
It's spot on. It is like, it's eerily accurate. He does it. He goes, he like even does like the death sound at the end. It's really good impression of a zombie of a Minecraft zombie on fire.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can get a recording of it.
That'd be great. That'd be his podcast debut.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. That was your special little treat if you actually listened to the end of the show. If you did, good job.
You did.
Proud of you. Thank you. Thanks, y'all. Bye.
Bye.
Maximum Fun,
a worker-owned network
of artist-owned shows.
supported
Directly
by you.